What's up, Drop Pod listeners? You can check out new episodes of the Drop Podcast every Tuesday and Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find all of our content on YouTube at the Drop Golf Podcast and on our socials. That's Instagram and Twitter at the Drop_pod. No matter how you consume us, like, subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. Follow and listen along.
This episode is brought to you by All County Exteriors. Discover the excellence of All County Exteriors, a third-generation leader in premier exterior home remodeling, proudly celebrating over 40 years of success. While most remodeling companies last just 5 years, All County Exteriors has withstood the test of time, consistently delivering top-quality roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Their expertise extends from small repairs to large additions, serving homeowners and builders alike. More than just a construction company, All County Exteriors is deeply committed to community service, proudly supporting organizations such as the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the American Cancer Society, Roofs for Troops, and Parents of Autistic Children. If you have planned to do any exterior remodeling, call the experts at All County Exteriors for a free, no-obligation estimate for your project. Just call 732-370-2780 or email them at info@allcountyonline.com. That's 732-370-2780 for All County Exteriors for all your remodeling needs. This is the Drop Podcast where we talk golfing in the Garden State. I'm Mike Puorro, and this is Ryan Coulott.
What's up, Drop Pod people? Welcome back this week. It is July 16th coming at you, Tuesday. Man, we got an episode that I am super excited for. So much so that I told Mike to shut up off camera because I want to ask him all of my questions and hear all of the things with you guys listening live. So let's get to it. We got a loaded episode here, Mike. And again, I really am excited to hear about your trip. Yesterday, Magic Mike Monday. Mike was able to get out, play Plainfield Country Club, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. He played the 11th hole. You can check that out on our Instagram. It's also up on our YouTube page. Magic Mike Monday was yesterday. Plainfield Country Club. Mike played the 11th hole.
And listen, I know when people have watched this, the comments that I've received already, listen, it's titled, the title is called Shankopotamus. And I know people at times say to me all the time, like, Mike, how many times does it take you guys to do it? Like, is that your third shot, or did you have a redo? Did you have a bad mic first and play a new one? Like, I've said this for you and I from day one.
No,
like,
Mike's just a good golfer. He gets it right every time.
Yeah, except that time. And when I got up to the 11th hole at Plainfield, what everybody says, it's the longest par 5 in the state.
Shortest par 5 in the state.
Whatever. Yeah, that's right. Sorry. That's what I meant. God. That's how much I was messed up there.
Yeah.
I got on the tee box and I cold hard shanked that thing. And I remember saying to you, like, or you saying to me, like, are you going to put that out? And I'm like, yeah, that disaster is going to be seen by everybody. So yeah, listen, I made a 7 on the par 3. I don't know what to say. Probably one of the most embarrassing things I've done, but it's authentic. You saw every shot. You saw my reaction on every shot. And it was a straight up disaster, because the sad thing is, I think that day I still played relatively well. I didn't shank another ball the whole day. I think I still shot 81 or 82 or 80, something in that ballpark. I made a couple, I played a really good round of golf, except for the one time I put the damn camera on. So listen, hope you all got a good laugh at it nonetheless.
It is. I know, Mike, people have made comments about, like, I know the people think that, like, there's divots in my videos, and no, those are just bad warm-up swings. Or there's, like, I'm in a bad spot where another bad golfer was, and I'm by another bad golfer's divot. So, like, I know people have mentioned that, and we put out our authentic selves on these. There is no redos or whatever. And I did ask you, Mike, because that was such an awful first shot on there. It's comically bad. It really is. And that's not you as a golfer. You're really a good golfer. And to have a shot like that, and then to catch some bad breaks, I know, on a really tough green, on a really tough hole. It was a comedy of errors. Not that I wasn't into comedy of errors myself, because I was bunker to bunker over the green. So I had a really bad hole as well, and I beat you by 2. So it was, misery loves company sometimes, but it was really something to see with you there. I'm sorry you had to endure that, but it's if you haven't checked it out, it's probably still up on our it's definitely up on our YouTube page. And it's definitely on our Instagram. If the stories run out, you can always go onto the little circles underneath. Mike verse, Ryan's verse, 2024s, all kinds of stuff that we have up there. You can go check it out there as well. Today, Tuesday, July 16th, is episode 93 coming at you. It's over on our YouTube channel. You can watch Mike and I live here. You got us here. Subscribe to the YouTube page. You also got us on Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. So that's today. Wednesday, tomorrow, is Ryan versus Barefoot Landing down in the Grand Strand of Myrtle Beach. I was able to go down. I played the Norman course down there. So I recorded the 9th hole. It's a par 5. You'll have to wait and see what tomorrow brings for that hole there. And then Thursday is Interview Thursdays, and we have Ryan Hager on, who's the director of instruction at Plainfield Country Club. And there's a big Plainfield, you might have caught on to something there. The New Jersey Open is at Plainfield next week.
Next Tuesday.
And next Tuesday it starts. And we're going to get into that in the show, but there's definitely a reason, a method to the madness there, that we got Mike's at Plainfield. We got Ryan Hager on. We're going to talk about it in just a second. So that's kind of why things are happening. So there we go. And then Friday is Freaky Fun Friday. So we'll put out wherever we want to on Friday.
Are you looking for the perfect place to tee it up this season? Or just looking for a great spot for casual comfort food? Or how about the most picturesque backdrop for the wedding of your dreams? Then you need to go visit Galloping Hill Golf Course in Kenilworth, New Jersey, conveniently located in Union County, right off exit 138 on the Garden State Parkway. Galloping Hill encompasses over more than 270 beautiful acres. It was again ranked in the top 10 of best public golf courses in New Jersey. Galloping Hill also offers a top 50 in the country learning center with 52 stalls and a 45,000 square foot practice area. In addition to a 9-hole course that is ranked in the top 10 of short courses in the entire country, Galloping Hill is more than just golf. The Hill Tavern Bar and Grill is a gastro pub with seasonal food and beer options updated regularly with amazing views of the course. Hosting over 100 golf outings and over 400 social events per year, their catering team consistently wins awards each year from the Knot and the Wedding Wire. Schedule a tour for your special event at the clubhouse at gallopinghill.com. It's all happening this year at Galloping Hill Golf Course.
All right, Mike, let's jump into these topics here. First, before we get into more state golf stuff, we got to congratulate Reed Grazerman for dominating the New Jersey Am. He went wire to wire. He was 14 under, which blew away your predictions. It slightly beat my prediction. He dominated the field. It was something to see. He was really on fire. Like we talked about when we recapped that or previewed it. I thought someone out there was going to have the ability to go 63, 64 on one of the days, but to be able to consistently do it, to do it for 4 rounds, to go 64 and not go 75 the next day to bring the field back. I mean, he dominated this tournament from start to finish and really was impressive. The kind of the I don't want to say the what's the word I'm looking for? The feather in the cap here is that they are the first brother duo. They being Reed is just finished his freshman year at Princeton, and his brother Max is on the PGA Tour. Max, who we talk about weekly, he's in our weekly updates here. They're the first brothers to win the amateur in New Jersey history. So that's really cool. The win gets him, if you remember going back to our interview we did with Kevin Purcell and some of our talk, the win gets him into a full-on exemption into the USAM, which is going to be held at Hazeltine National Golf Club this year. You may have heard of it, Mike. I think your boy, the Big Cats, played there once or twice. So congrats to Reed. Awesome to see him win in the fashion that he did. Some other guys played great golf. I think, Mike, we talked about the field being a really great field, but I think also the field played better than I thought. If you remember, I said, like, I think you're going to have like a smattering of guys at like that'll go like maybe not someone at 9, someone at 7 or 8, someone at 7 or 6, and kind of like trickle down. The field played much better than I thought overall, for sure.
Yeah, listen, I don't know. Reed doubled my prediction. I think I said 700 was going to win, and he went out and just kind of smashed that. And I don't know if I saw 4 guys at double digits. I know we talked about, like, could someone get to double digits? But it ended up being 4 guys finished at double digits in relation to par, which I thought was kind of crazy. And to Reed's point, like, listen, Reed he'll be on the show. Him and I were texting after he won that night, and I wanted to make sure we congratulated him. And like a lot of things, he was motivated. He had a little, we were going back and forth a little bit. He had a little blunder there in the 4th round where, he kind of was at one point treading water, because he had bogeyed 12 and 13 coming down the stretch, and Mark Costanza, Liam Pasternak, Jerry Wall, they were all in striking distance, 2 shots away from him, that if he kind of kept making a few bogeys coming in, it would have been a lot different of a story. But I think him what he ended up doing was driving the green on 15 and 2-putting for birdie, which if you heard him talk after the round, he said that was like a career golf shot, that kind of won him. And if you remember 15, it's more or less just a straightaway par 4. It's kind of long, but what Kevin had said, it was going to play firm and fast, and clearly it did. It redrives the green, 2-putt birdies, makes birdie, and then he follows that up with a birdie on 16 and gets in the house, winning by 3 shots. So yeah, listen, credit to Reed. Wire to wire is never an easy thing, especially when you follow up 64 as your opening round. But listen, I can't wait to get him on the show to kind of pick his brain, from the ins and outs of what he thought about the golf course, how his game is at this present time, what he's looking forward to Hazeltine. So, Reed will be on the show, and I look forward to chatting with him.
Certainly looking forward to that. Playing at Princeton now is no small feat. So, and driving that green in 1, obviously he is just absolutely mashing the ball. So yeah, Reed, looking forward to have you on. Congrats. And good job by the rest of the field. You mentioned Liam and Jerry and Mark and everybody else. There was some really good golf played out there this week, even though the results might not be where some of the people wanted to be. So Forest Hills, great showing. Really did a nice job, I think. Let's move over from the amateur side, Mike, and let's move into some of the professional rankings, and let's kind of go Korn Ferry PGA Tour as we have some things here. Morgan missed the cut this week out in Colorado, back in July 11th to the 13th. He's in the field this week in Missouri, which is great to have him back. I'm glad to see that he's playing constantly. I don't want to say that was a worry, but I know he's not making cuts, and I know he's not where he wants to be, but he is constantly in the fields, right? He's constantly playing. So that is good to see. The Scottish Open was this week. Last week. And we did talk about kind of the split field. So Chris and Max were in the Scottish Open. Ryan was in Kentucky at the, what do they call it? The alternate event?
Yeah. Opposite field.
Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Unfortunately, Chris missed the cut, but Max did finish T21, which is a great showing out in Scotland. At the ISCO Championship in Kentucky, Ryan finished T31, which was really nice. I will say this: it was really I was able to watch some golf on the first day of the tournament. I was watching the opposite field event, and Ryan was playing pretty well. He was off the leaderboard, but he was like 6 under, and he was on the back stretch of holes, like probably through 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, somewhere in there. 6 under's pretty good. He's just off the leaderboard. I don't know why. They continued to show some guy who was 1 over. And I don't, and his group, and I don't understand. Nobody in his, like, I don't need to see his shot. +1 may not even be making the cut. So I don't know why, but I got to see Ryan's tee shot on 18 and his putt on 18. So it was really nice to see him a little bit, but I don't understand the golf coverage. I never will. I know we've talked about this before. It's infuriating that we can't see people's shots before the coverage starts because cameras are there, people are playing. Like, just play. Let's just put them on. And then to be showing someone who's +1 and not someone who's -6 and rather in contention was really frustrating. So, again, was able to see a little bit of Ryan, but not as much as I wanted to. But T31's great. We did talk about cash and checks and getting in there. Max, T21, excellent job. Unfortunately, nobody qualifies for the U.S. Open. I'm sorry, the British Open. I'm sorry, the Open Championship. So, Mike, with that, do you know if they're off this week? Is there an opposite field that these guys are playing in, or is it's either open or bust? Okay, so good that they're going to be getting some rest time and hopefully get Chris get back on track and Max and Ryan can get some rest there. And again, cash and checks is what we want. Keegan Bradley, Mike, staying with the professional rankings. We're going to get into this. It's noteworthy that we mention it, but we're gonna talk about it significantly more. Keegan Bradley, Ryder Cup captain, which is a stunning turn of events. I mean, I thought Tiger was a lock. I thought the USGA was going to pick Keegan, was going to pick Tiger. Beth Page, Tiger's got the history. Tiger's been a playing captain. He's been an assistant captain. He's been part of the Ryder Cup for however long, and then he turns it down. The only thing that I could think of is he thinks he's going to make the Ryder Cup as a player, and that's what he's grinding for. It's the only thing I could think of why he would turn it down. But they go to the next. I don't want to say next in line, but the next choice is Keegan Bradley, which is kind of shocking considering what happened to him last time, and not being picked. So it was rather interesting to see kind of a dark horse get picked. I like the pick. I think Keegan, it's in his backyard, coming from St. John's and that whole kind of history there. It's not like he's never been on a Ryder Cup, so he knows a little bit about it. Maybe a little more outside the box than some other people. It definitely brought in some funny memes on the internet of Justin Thomas having to play well, and with Keegan not necessarily going to pick him as a captain's pick, so he's got to make it in. So those were kind of funny too. So again, we're going to break that down. We did just want to mention it and talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of piggyback that real quick, just to clarify, it is the PGA of America, not the USGA, that picks the Ryder Cup captain, because USGA doesn't have a say in that. That's okay.
Thank you.
Just technical purposes. But I will say this, to Tiger's point as to why you did, I think with this whole integration and trying to figure out how we're going to get the PIF and the new PGA Tour type thing to all work, I think, to what Tiger's saying, the amount of time that he's putting in with that is just he's not able to do it all. Because I think from our seats, we don't think the Ryder Cup captain truly does anything, but I think they do a lot more. So I don't think he was able to do all that with his time. And I don't think Tiger's necessarily ready to take that next step, which is kind of like retirement. It's funny to see Keegan Bradley, who's not even close to retirement, become the Ryder Cup captain. But
It's usually an older guy.
I feel like it's like a made-for-TV event. Like Netflix next year may be off the charts because of this. But I will say this: like Keegan Bradley, he's always talked about like he's the people's champion, like he's the guy that everybody roots for, and he's at the people's golf course. So it's like the perfect combination. And the one thing that I will say, and I'm sure we'll talk about this at another date, another time, the one thing I'll tell you that I know you may not like, but I love that Keegan Bradley came out and said is he's picking the best 12 guys no matter where they play golf. And I love that, because when I'm putting a team together, I want to put the best team together. And I love the fact that he doesn't shut the door to the live guys just because they're over there. I absolutely love that.
Well, we'll see what how they're playing and whatnot. I don't hate that. I wouldn't say that I love it. I'm definitely okay with that. I think the live stuff, I don't want to say I'm coming around a little bit more. I guess I'm just so tired of it. I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like, okay, pick some live guys. I'm kind of over it. Mike, we mentioned at the top with you playing Plainfield and having Ryan on Thursday this week. You might have heard the State Open is at Plainfield Country Club starting on Tuesday. A loaded field, tons of people in it. It's open to everybody. There's been qualifying sites all over. Reed, as we mentioned at the top, won the New Jersey Amateur. This is open to everybody. These are amateurs. These are pros. They are club, like head professionals, assistant professionals, directors of instruction. It's open to everybody. You've had to qualify. You've gotten through via some exemptions, maybe, but this is a open to anybody in the New Jersey State Open, and that's huge at a club that has hosted PGA Tour events. It's hosted Barclay, end of the season tournament. Why am I blanking on the word there? Thank you, FedEx Cup tournaments. This is Plainfield Country Club is a storied country club. Going back all the way, Donald Ross, the whole nine. It is an enormous player in the golf course space. And to have it at such an event at such a venue is really a real treat for these guys. So that's coming up on Tuesday this week. I mean, it's tough to say who do we think is going to win because there's so many variables. You got guys like Nick Bova in the field, and you got that are doing the golf instruction to amateurs and that sort of thing. Is Austin playing in it? Austin's in it. So you got so many variables of guys here that are playing in it. It's tough to make a prediction, but that's coming up this week. Head over to NJSGA's Instagram page. You can follow along on the Golf Genius scoring app there. They got all kinds of pictures there. It's really been a special experience to have it at Plainfield, Mike.
Yeah, listen, the field is loaded. There's no two ways around it. You talk about the who's who of New Jersey golf, and they are listed in this tee sheet. So I do want to preface this for the people that are listening, that'll listen to Ryan Hager on Thursday as well as next Tuesday when this thing gets off, is they did reroute the golf course for this State Open. That the front nine will be holes 1, 2, and 3, and then they're going to jump over and play 13 through 18. That's going to be the front nine, and then they're going to play 10, 11, 12, and then finish it up by playing 4 through 9, which will be the back nine, which to me, never playing Plainfield and then seeing what that 9th hole is, making that the 18th hole is probably one of the smartest decisions that I've seen in quite a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I give the NJSGA a lot of credit, whether that's Brad Barton making that call or Kevin Purcell, or even the guys over there at Plainfield, whether it's Sean Golden or Scott Parris, whoever's making that call. They did a phenomenal job with rerouting that. So, they'll hear this on Thursday when Hager talks about this more in detail. But when you're prefacing the front nine, that's how it's going to be routed for next Tuesday, along with how the back nine will be routed. So yeah, it's going to be a fun thing. And you know me, I'll be refreshing my phone like as if it's like, you know, the PGA Tour and I have a say in what's going on. But yeah, listen, everybody's in for a treat.
Yeah, Mike, as you said, that is an absolutely amazing finishing hole, which is the ninth hole normally. Yeah, it's really, really a smart decision by those guys to do that. Beautiful spot. We actually talked quite a bit out there about why they haven't done that to the course already. You know, because the 18th hole is a beautiful hole, does come back to the clubhouse, but it is a little bit set back. So I know the routing might be something, but you know, again, it's got the history. It seems like Plainfield's doing all right. I don't know if they need they need things like that happening. So, but yeah, an absolutely loaded field. I'm looking at some of the pairings now, and just a, you know, an unbelievable list, right?
It's a who's who.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, loaded field. Split tee times too. They're going off 1, they're going off 10. So really cool day. So again, stay up with that. Again, NJSGA on their Instagram page. You can check out the Golf Genius there. Mike, I need this so badly. You had an absolutely epic trip to Pinehurst that I know that you've been working hard on and you know, behind the scenes with, you know, coordinating with your dad and your brother. And I said this last week that I very much love the family dynamic. Again, nobody in my family golf. So you being able to have such a trip like this with your dad and your brother, I truly am jealous. So following along with you and texting you, seeing the pictures and all the stuff. I have so many questions and I have no questions. Tell me about the trip.
Yeah, listen, I don't know what to say, except it's one of those ones that like I had worked really hard on it behind the scenes. I was joking with my dad that I think the first email that I sent out to start planning this trip with the people down there in North Carolina was mid-November. And then by the time I got this ball really rolling, it was like December. The next batch of emails went out. So it was legitimately like a 6 or 7 month planning process of me making sure that like every duck was in a row so that we could maximize and have the best time we could. And I enjoy doing things like that. It's right up my alley. And I knew that from a selfish perspective, if I wanted to play certain golf courses, my brother and my dad are going to defer to me on that. And this is kind of my arena. This is my environment. So let me take hold of this. Let me plan it. And you guys, I'm telling you, we're going to have an absolute blast. Sure as hell we did. I mean, I can't tell you how many times that the three of us were laughing at each other or ball busting each other, you know, but I'll go through this and I kid you not, if I bore you, I sincerely apologize. And if people fast forward through this, I get it, but I think a lot of it is unreal, and I won't go into depth on every single little spot, but there are certain things at each spot, along with some things I need to say at the end, that I think are meaningful. And I'll start on Wednesday. So
and
we left.
Mike, but I think, and I'm probably going to interrupt you a whole bunch on this, this diatribe that you're about to go on. But I think you set the blueprint on what to do. You left early in the morning. You played golf, finished the ride down. Like I think that you kind of, unless you're flying down, I think your blueprint, the basis of this is a great trip that you can execute, that I think anyone can kind of execute, right?
100%. Yeah. So, I mean, so we left Wednesday morning, you know, at 5 a.m. We're in the car, we're driving down, and the first stop was, my dad mentioned, like, let's play somewhere on the way down. Let's stop somewhere in Virginia about halfway of our drive, and then we'll finish it. So I knew from that point on, my first course I had to find was somewhere in Virginia, and I knew where I wanted to go. We ended up going to Independence Golf Club. Okay. It's right in the middle of Virginia. And the one thing that people may say, like, well, what's Independence Golf Club? They are co-hosting the stroke play round of the USGA Mid-Am this year. And not only are they doing that, this coming week that we're in right now, they are hosting the Virginia State Open. So this is a very good public golf course that anybody can go play.
Wow.
And I think the one thing that stood out more so to me, and I can't thank Joe Collins enough, their marketing director, who I was going back and forth with organizing this whole thing. When do you come and what time? Let's find the tee time. Joe was absolutely amazing. But the one thing I put out there the very first day were those solo carts. Dude, when I say, like, if you're a golf nerd like me and you're on this thing driving it like I don't know, somewhat like of a scooter or motorcycle.
Segway.
Bro, my brother and I were laughing the entire time as we're just jumping on, throwing the club back in the cart and just motoring around. It was unreal. It was unreal. We were having like the time of our lives as if it were 15-year-old kids just motor around this place. And then on top of it, the golf course was so good. You want to talk about fast greens? My, oh my. They were unreal with how good the condition of the golf course was, how fast the greens were. Like, you could tell they are gearing that place up for something special, not only this week for the Virginia State Open, but then for in a few months for the USGA, Mid-Am. Because listen, guys like Stu Hagestad are going to be there. Guys like Marcus Danz are going to be there. Guys like Jason Pataya are going to be there. There's guys like in our inner circle, Troy Vanucci, that are in our inner circle here in New Jersey that will be down there playing in that. And to have, listen, did I play the Mid-Am tees? No, was not going to torture myself day one of this golf trip. But I did get to see what it was like. And I think they're in for a treat because for a public golf course, man, oh man, was that a special spot.
I love, Mike, that it was at a public course. Not you playing. I like that. Things like that, like the State Open. Obviously, I like that it's at Plainfield this year. Plainfield's got the history. But there's something about it when it comes to a public course. The Open is open to the public. It's simpatico to me. I don't know. I like it. Just like I like when the U.S. Open's at Bethpage. It hits different than when it's at, some of the other places. Like, again, not taking anything away from Shinnecock or Oakmont or any of the other, Hazeltine, any of the other open sites that there's been. But when it's at Pebble, when it's at Bethpage, it just hits differently, right? So the Virginia Open, I think that trickles down. When it's at a public site, it's open to the public. I love that.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, I can't thank those guys enough. I will say this. If you're in that Virginia area or going past there, like, dude, that is a must play.
Where in Virginia is it?
Midlothian is the name of the town that it's in.
Okay. Is it like near Richmond or?
Yes. Yeah, it's near Richmond. Richmond University plays there. That's their home golf course.
Oh, okay. Good.
Because you'll see some of the tees are called spiders. Like, that's a spider. You could play the spider tees if you want.
Oh, I love that.
So that's, there is a lot of things there that are really sweet. So I can't say this enough. I mean, I probably could have a whole episode on each one of these shows. So I'm going to try to be fair and not just sit here and ramble about each spot. But I can't lie. Like, that was a super cool spot. And I thought when I left there, I'm like, I knew from that point on, this is going to be a special trip because we nailed it with the first course. You kind of know what you're going to expect down in Pinehurst, but on a drive down from Virginia, you kind of don't know. You're rolling the dice. But I thought I did enough research to say, okay, this is going to be a good spot. And luckily enough, it gave us everything. So we play that round and we drive all our way back down to Pinehurst. We probably get there like 8:00 and, we sleep in. The next morning we have, the Cradle, play the Cradle, and then we go play Forest Creek. And I'll say this about I guess that what's a Thursday. I'll talk about Thursday. Is the Cradle is just one of those things that if you're in Pinehurst, you just have to do. I don't really care. You have to get a tee time and go play that. Just experience it. There's holes. I filmed a Mike Verse on there. You're going to see a Mike Verse come out of the Cradle.
Love it.
Because to me, like, every hole is like a 50-yard hole. There's a 70-yard hole. There's a 120-yard hole. And I just thought it was amazing that, like, it's a par 27. Can you break par? You see the whole all the stats. Who has the most hole-in-ones? Who has the lowest score? Who played it the fastest? Who's played it as many times in one day as you can? Like, there was so many amazing little things about, you go play barefoot. You take a couple clubs, they give you a little bag and you carry the bag, you drop it around. You could have a drink. There's drink spots. There's Adirondack chairs up there that you can watch people come up all the different holes. There's a little bar setting up there. It is like this. That is a spot that I can see people just legitimately sitting there having fun and enjoying themselves. And I know some people had said to me, throughout the trip, I had talked to a lot of people throughout the trip, and they said, "Are you enjoying yourself?" And I said, "Beyond, so much so." And they're like, "Well, how's your downtime?" One thing about Mike Puorro is I like to go. I
asked you the same thing, Mike.
I am not a person that wants to sit down and do nothing. When I'm on a golf trip, I want to play golf. I want to just experience everything. I don't want to sit on the couch. I don't want to sit outside. I don't want to sit in a chair. Like, I want to be the one that you're watching. So I know everybody has different mindsets about what a golf trip entails to them. Sometimes it's too much golf that I enjoy playing. But for me, I'm like, if the sun comes up at 6, let's be on the tee at 6:30. The sun goes down at 8:30. Let's be done at 8:30. So I did not go out there and sit there, but I did get to experience, and that walk around there is absolutely unique. It's so much fun. Yeah. So, we leave the Cradle.
Did you have a hole-in-one at the Cradle?
No, I didn't, but wait until you see the Mike versus. I will say this. So every round, I put out the over-under on Mike. What do you think Mike's going to shoot? And my brother and I would sit there and be like, all right, give me a fair number, Matt. Like, what do you think? And the over-under at the Cradle was 27.5, right? So it's either you're over par or you shot even or under. Yeah. Well, this guy, I couldn't believe how many people said, Mike, you're going over. Nobody had faith in the game. I get it. My game stunk going into Pinehurst, but man, oh man, you want to talk about how I peaked. I peaked at Pinehurst, but I go out there, 2 birdies, 2 bogeys, shoot even par 27, crashed on all those haters that were saying, over on Mike. So I played the Cradle really well.
I think that's a great way to start, because you guys, it's always kind of tough to get down and like get out of the car and go play. Especially you drove 6 hours, 8 hours to Richmond, something like that. Played, finished the drive. You wake up. I think the Cradle's a great way to like get your Pinehurst part of your trip started. Like wake the body up. It's not like super intense. I think that was a beautiful decision.
Right. So it's great planning by whoever planned the trip. But then,
right.
so then we had hopped over to Forest Creek. Now, Forest Creek is a private golf course. And some people had said to me, how did you get on? Well, my dad had won a foursome in a silent auction for us to go play. So part of my emails leading up to this trip was to reach out to the director of golf, Hugh. Hugh is a former assistant at Pine Valley. So, me, once I find out there's a connection to New Jersey, we're going to talk shop. And him and I hit it off. He loves, the New Jersey thing. I gave him a little swag bag of ours. He loved that all. And he got us out there to play 18 holes on the South course. Now, Forest Creek has 2 18-hole golf courses. They have the North, which is it's Bermuda grass. It probably plays better in the heat that was down there. And then there's a South course, which we played, which is bent grass. I will say this, it was a little unlucky that they had lost their electric to the irrigation system 2 weeks before we showed up. So clearly on bent grass in that type of weather, it needs to be watered down. And when you lose it for 2 weeks, the electricity to that aspect of it and your hand watering it just doesn't hit the same way. So I will say this, that the course wasn't in the best shape, but what I will say is along this journey, I was able to make a lot of connections. I met a guy named Barrett McGrath. Okay. Barrett's a member at Forest Creek. He is also, he works at Pinehurst. Okay. Awesome dude. That their locker room is rated as one of the top 5 locker rooms in the state of North Carolina. It's this big barn, all wood, like log cabin-ish.
Oh, cool.
You walk into this locker room. Now you can only go in if you're with a member. Barrett was kind enough to meet us over there after the round. We had a drink with him in this locker room. Okay. In the locker room. Coach Roy Williams.
What?
Michael Jordan.
No.
Cordell Stewart.
Slash?
These guys. Boom.
Wow.
Boom, boom. And I'm sitting around, and me, I start to nerd out. I am walking around like just the kid in a candy store. I probably could have spent hours just in the locker room. they had a sauna in the locker room. They had a little exercise room in the sauna. They had the amenities in this place were unreal. I see now why Forest Creek, when I told people playing Forest Creek, they're like, holy hell, you're so lucky. Bro, I will say this. The rate to play is expensive with a member. It's stupid without a member, okay? But I will say this. If you ever get the opportunity when you're down in Pinehurst to get on Forest Creek, bro, just for the locker room alone, you've got to go experience it. Wow. Because that place was unreal. So I'll say this. I get it. Maybe the course wasn't in the greatest shape. And Hugh mentioned that to me, like, listen, hey, I apologize if it's not ideal, but you're going to, nonetheless, you'll enjoy yourself. And we truly did. So yeah, Forest Creek was a huge win.
That's so cool. I mean, Mike, we're Jersey guys, so it's not like we know a ton about North Carolina country clubs that aren't like nationally recognized. Obviously we know Pinehurst, but to hear like another new spot, I think is really cool. And that, like the exposed wood of like a barn that's so cool looking. Just imagining it. I'm just imagining like, yeah, that's awesome. So cool. Yeah. And then obviously some heavy hitter names that are down there.
Yeah, nothing like mixing up with those type of guys.
Yeah, I didn't know Cordell Stewart was from down that area.
I guess he lives down there. I don't know. That's what he had said. So the locker's in there. But, so that was a great day. So then I think we get to Friday.
Hold on. What number locker is Jordan there?
There's no numbers. It's just nameplates on him.
Just know where you are. Okay.
Yeah.
I would think that he would request the 23rd locker.
He's not. They did say he's not there a ton. They said he's not there a ton. They say
when you own a golf course, I would think you're there more.
Right. So they said Coach
Roy's there
a lot. He lives in there. I shouldn't say he has a house in there.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has multiple, but whatever the case is.
Wow, cool.
Yeah. But I think then we get to Friday, which was the day that
I walked with Roy once.
Oh, nice.
I went to visit North Carolina, and he was just walking out of the offices, and he's like, I'm going for my walk. And I walked with him for like around the building, and he was clearly like working out, but I wanted to say hello, tell him that I'm a Carolina fan, big, so I chatted with him, and obviously being a hoops guy. So it was pretty cool. It was, 3-minute conversation, but still.
Yeah. But then I think we get into Friday, which was the day that I had circled, and the weather, they said it was supposed to be sketchy the whole day. Like that was the day it was supposed to rain. And, we did get some rain that day, but we played Tobacco Road in the morning. Now, I think when you think about Tobacco Road, the pictures at that place are unbelievable. And I kid you not, I was able to connect with Darren Bunch, who's like their marketing guru. Okay. Darren is an awesome guy. Being able to see the things that he does, and working with me to get this tee time and doing all these things, he was unreal. And I'm working to find a date to get Darren on the show so he can talk a little bit about Tobacco Road itself. Because it is a unique golf course. So we have the first tee time at 6:36. We're the first ones off. Okay.
So early.
So first one's off. We left the house. I think the alarm went off at 4:30. We're in the car at 5:30 and we're going, right? Well, I will say this about Tobacco Road. That golf course is unique. It is difficult. It is a Union League national type golf course where my phone is out on every hole. I don't think the pictures on my phone will do it justice because it was overcast. It was raining at times during the golf round we were playing, probably from like 12, 13, 14. It was like raining. So the visuals may not be as good as if you pull a picture up online right now. It's sunny out. It looks so good. But I played the round of my life at that place. Okay. I don't know how else to describe it, but I felt like I knew what I was doing. And if you had seen me before I left for Pinehurst, I wasn't playing good golf. I was kind of like struggling. I was aggravated and kind of deflated in a sense.
Deflated is a good word to describe it because you were like, I don't know what I'm doing over the golf ball.
Yeah, I don't. So all of a sudden, and I'll be honest, we started at Independence Golf Club and I shot in the 70s. So I was like, okay. I played the Cradle. I shot even par. I was like, okay. I went to Forest Creek. I shot in the 70s. So like, I feel like I'm getting it together. But even within those rounds, I'm still making a dumb double or two, or I'm missing a short putt that I'm known to do all the time because Dad's not giving me anything and you're putting it out and I miss a short one and then you're all pissed off. But I get to Tobacco Road and we come out the gate, and that first hole, that's why I put that tee shot out there, because that first hole is synonymous with Tobacco Road. You got a mound on the right, you got a mound on the left, you got these, you don't even know where you're hitting the ball. But, you know, I like any crazy person, you do your research ahead of time. So I know where I'm going. And I get that ball on the first tee and I'm ready to go. Stripe that damn thing right down the middle. You hear the starter in the audio of the story say, "Good shot. Perfect." And I'm like, that audio is going in there. These people are gonna know, like, Mike means business. And I'll say this. I don't know what it was. I don't. But that place was unreal. It was. I shot 67, 4 under par. First time I've ever seen the golf course in person.
Little golf clap.
Tied my lowest score ever. I've shot 67 like years ago, one time. And to do that, I was just like, oh my God, like there's something left in the tank of this old man, that there's times that maybe you can piece this thing together. And when I made the putt on the last hole and I knew where I was at, I was like, wow, because the horn went off on the 17th hole because of lightning in the area, right? So you know what that means? You need to get off the damn golf course. Well, I said to my dad, no, we can't. We cannot get off the golf course. I am 4 under with 2 holes to go. Like, you guys can go. I'm just going to keep playing. Like, I need to get this round in. So the horn goes off. We tee off 17. It's a par 3. It's like full on running. We drive the golf carts. You can drive the golf carts basically anywhere. You're going through all the sand. You're coming up to the green. I park the damn car. I sprint to my golf ball. I got a putt for birdie, 2 putt. We sprint to 18. You see carts. Carts are going in because you're done. The 18th tee box is like up on a hill. One thing I'll say about Tobacco Road, you don't know where you're going. We had an argument in our group that I said that it's a dog leg left par 5. Matt and my dad are yelling, no, it goes right. I'm like, no, it goes left. It goes left. Right? They're like, no, Mike, effing it goes to the right. Will you pay attention? Right? So we'd have no clue on certain holes where the thing goes.
Which way did it go?
It went left. Because I did my research, but whatever the case is. So it's blind shot after blind shot after blind shot. Okay. You really don't know where you're hitting the ball, but you kind of have to poke and prod, like, okay, I need to hit this 225, hit it there. You need to hit this one 165, hit it there. I'm good at that. I can just, okay, boom, boom, boom. I can't get open and bomb at 300.
You like target golf.
Target golf. Yep. Give me the number.
Give me a line. Give me, yep.
All right. So we get to 18 and and I park my car. We're playing the back tees. You know, Matt and I played the back tees that day. So we're on the 18th hole and Matt decides he's going to play the up tees with my dad. I don't know where the back tees are. They're like 40 yards backwards. So I got my driver in hand. I'm start running all the way up this hill. I'm on top of this hill. You have to carry the ball 220 to get over the mound, over all the crap. So now I'm crapping my pants. I'm like, you can't double this last hole. You can't triple this last hole. Like, you need to hit a good drive. So now I'm nervous. Mm-hmm. I'm nervous on 18 tee box. I'm shaking. I'm like, here we go. This thing's got to get in the air. It's got to go far, and I got to hit it well. I did stripe the damn thing. I make par on 18 and shoot 67.
Yes.
And I can't lie how many people had said to me, what did you think of the golf course? You know, I'll say this about it. It can be gimmicky. I can say that. I think it can be to some people gimmicky. People think that, oh, you played so well, you must love it. I'll say this about Tobacco Road, and I would say this to Darren if I had him on too. Tobacco Road is a spot that I would play once every year and be done. I'd be done with it. I think it's very hard. It could get very aggravating because if you miss a spot by a little bit, boy, oh boy. My brother hit one bunker shot on 11, and he had to be 50 yards below the hole to go up to the green. So to some people, I could see it being like, this is crazy. This is crazy. So I wouldn't say it's a course that I would play every day, but throughout our trip, people were telling us they love playing there all the time. And the other thing about Tobacco Road is it's expensive. It's expensive. It's $250 for your greens fees plus an additional cart fee on top of that. So it is an expensive round of golf, which is why another reason if you play it once, you probably can check the box and say you played it. But if I lived there, I think I'd love the challenge once a year to go play Tobacco Road.
You hear all the time how good that place is. And maybe that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get top-notch golfers. They're trying to price people out. They don't just want some newbie to golf that has, money. They want to make it, a challenge and have a specific clientele come play.
Yeah.
Maybe that's their thing. But so good. We've both seen pictures of it, and I'm sure everyone else has, when they look good. And yeah, that place looks absolutely amazing. But as we've talked about, Mike, one of those places maybe that you don't want to play every day. It might be beautiful. It might be awesome. You might have loved it. It's not my everyday course kind of thing.
That's how my brother and my dad felt. That's how they felt. Like I've played it. I'm good. I don't need to play it again. So listen, that was an unreal experience, and I can't thank Darren enough because he really hooked it up for us and took care of us. So, listen, then we head over to number 2. Now,
so Tobacco Road in the morning, number 2 in the afternoon.
Noon tee time at number 2. And I will say this about number 2. Maybe it was bad scheduling to play Tobacco Road and then number 2 from a mental side because of how hard they were.
Just on the grind.
On the grind, right? And one thing I wanted to do special for my dad is to hire like a photographer. Like I thought it'd be really cool to capture some moments outside of just my phone. So I did my due diligence in finding someone that I thought would be perfect. And Matt Jr. did an unreal job. If you're down in the area, I'm sure if you followed anything along the US Open, Matt's pictures were always out there. Okay. Always out there. I had talked to him a little bit, behind the scenes. I'd love to connect. This is back in December, January, leading up to the trip. He said, absolutely. Let's figure it out. As we got closer, him and I are going back and forth. Can we make it happen? Can we not? Because listen, getting a photographer out there, is not A, it's not cheap. And B, it's like, well, where do you want them? Do you want them when you go off? And then if you want them at the back end of the round, they're there for almost 5 hours because it takes a long time to play number 2. So Matt and I came to an agreement that hey, listen, let's get us early on. If you can, let's get it at the very end. But the pictures he had taken of us and the 3 of us and some of the action shots that he sent me just the other day are simply amazing. I mean, I think the ones that I was able to share with my mom, she was like, this is like picturesque worthy. I need a frame. I'm going to put this in there. And I know at times my dad can think it's stupid, Mike, you're extreme. This is unnecessary. But I do know that deep down, as you get older, having memories in a picture like that will go a long, long way. And I value things like that. I know it can come off as harsh and brash to a lot of people at times, but I do think deep down there is a heart that hides in there. And I thought that this was a perfect opportunity for the 3 of us doing something that we all love doing in a setting on a spot like that was simply perfect. So the images that Matt captured as we went off number 2 were amazing. But the catch was after the 5th hole, it was downpouring, that we had to stop playing. We couldn't go. My dad and I were walking. So my dad didn't have an umbrella, didn't have rain gear. I didn't want him to be miserable while we're out there. So we came in and we had some lunch. We tried our best to wait it out. I ended up telling Matt, listen, I know I wanted you to capture us as we're coming up 18, but who knows what time that'll be. I said, I'm here to 8:30 because I know that's when the sun goes down. I'm not asking you to stay that late. It's a ridiculous ask. So Matt had gotten a lot of good shots for us from when we were on the practice putting green all the way to number 5. So then we finally get a chance to go back out there, and we go to the spot where we were supposed to play. And they say to us, you can't play. You can't start here. You're right in the middle of all these groups that are going. So now I'm getting you got to be kidding me. I'm like, so what we can do? So now we're all talking to the people out there, the Rangers. They say, you know what? We're going to let you guys start over. We're going to let you start over.
Wait, you couldn't go back to your where you were in line?
Yeah, because you would have crowded.
Oh, because other guys kept going.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
people stayed out there.
Yeah.
So they're like, we're going to let you start over. I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, you guys can go back to 1 and start over.
Wow.
I'm like, let's go. So now we're all jacked up. It's like 3:30. We're all jacked up. Let's go. We're going to get out there. We're going to play 18 more holes. We go through the round. right? The ranger is pulling the flag as we leave for the day. He's following us. We finished the first hole. They pulled a flag.
Oh, you were the last group.
The last group of the day.
Wow.
So there's
Okay,
rangers
yeah.
following us, seeing like where we are so they can pull the damn flag. The halfway house lady was waiting for us saying, how did you guys get this late of a tee time? Because normally she's gone by then.
Yeah.
She got us, we had the last tee time. And I'll say this, I needed to go par to shoot under 80 coming in. I was playing very good golf. I ended up going bogey coming in. And I filmed the Mike versus on the 18th hole. And coming up the 18th hole at around 8:15 at night, with all the people sitting in the backdrop, the lights are on. It was an unreal environment, an unreal scene. And I know I said I went bogey, and I did bogey the 18th hole. But just seeing that at 8:30 at night, knowing that our day that day started at 4:30 and we're not getting done playing golf to 8:30 is a dream for someone like me who's a golf fiend. My brother, my dad, they didn't agree with me. They thought that was outrageous. They thought that was crazy. And you know what the funny thing was? When we finished the round, I had shot 81. It beat you up mentally. Mentally, number 2 just beat you up. We played the blue tees, 75 rating, 145 slope. Like, it's hard. Mm-hmm. We get done the round. We pull in the driveway at home on Friday night, and they're exhausted, the two of them. They are just so tired. And I am wide awake. I am like, let's go out and play. Let's keep going. And they're like, what the hell is wrong with you?
I've asked you that a lot. Yeah.
A lot. I was just on like a high. I was just like, listen, I'll say this. I was down there for 5 days. Okay. I knew what I was getting myself into. So Friday, when I say Friday from the beginning to the end, between Darren hooking it up at Tobacco Road to getting on number 2 to having Matt Jr. come out and take some pictures. I took a picture of Riggs's house. Did you just, I don't know if you saw this.
I did see that.
Picture,
yeah.
I took a picture of Riggs's house because they took down the fence. He DMs us back. He shares the post on his story. Mm-hmm. That thing for guys like you and I, we don't have 204,000 followers on Instagram the way Riggs does. He does. And he reposts it and says, the wall is down. Mm-hmm. You don't know how many people saw that freaking thing. Where I know the numbers and I know what we typically get. The numbers were just like on a rocket ship to the moon with how many people saw that. It was unbelievable getting a guy like Riggs to not only share it, but then DM me back and have some sort of conversation. Matt Jr.'s out there. He's texting Riggs himself because they know each other out there. Like, it was one of those things. I got Danny Rappaport checking all our stories out. Like, it was one of those things that you felt like you were somebody in this fucking golf eco YouTube world that it was just like, this is just surreal. This is surreal. So Friday from the beginning to the end, dude, was one of those days in my life that I probably just never will forget. So listen, Friday was unreal. I don't even know what to say. I got to say thank you to everybody that kind of helped make Friday as good as it was. We ended up playing a total of 41 holes on Friday, 18 at Tobacco Road, and then we played 23 at Pinehurst number 2.
Yeah, that's such a good day. I mean, I can understand why Matt and your dad were tired, but that's, for you, that's the perfect day. The only thing that would have made it better was another round of 18.
More light, So, I mean, so Friday was the day that was circled on my calendar. That's where I wanted to play.
Such a good day. Oh,
and so, kind of like,
and two outstanding courses. And I love it that, like, I can imagine like the ranger following you, like picking the flags out.
I'm handing him the flag as we're walking. If I know everybody's on the green, I'll take the flag out and I walk it over to him, and then we all go back and putt. Yeah, it was dude, it got crazy. It was an unreal day. So it was one of those I knew that was just going to be a memory that we'll never forget. And then we go into Saturday. We played Longleaf Golf and Family Club. I will say thank you to Zach Martin. He's the director of golf over there. He kind of hooked it up for us. Saturday morning got so crazy that my brother decided he wasn't playing with us in the morning. He said, guys, I am just exhausted. I can't keep up. My dad was contemplating not playing, and they're like,
Yeah.
"What are you going to do?" I'm like, "I'm playing." Like, no offense, don't take this the wrong way. I don't need you. I'll just go play 18 holes by myself. Like, I'm on a golf trip. I want to golf. Like, that's what I was coming to do.
What time did you guys play?
On Saturday morning?
On Saturday morning.
7 a.m. First tee time off. Okay. First tee time off. So my dad and I go over to Longleaf. Zach hooks it up. Lets us go out there as a first tee time. Me and my dad are in the car driving home. It's 9:30. We played 18 holes, 2.5 hours.
Wow.
Done. We played 18 holes, got a lot of videos, got a lot of, talked to Zach for a good 10 or 15 minutes. He appreciated us coming over there and playing and talking about our experience over there. They are a big USGA kids environment.
Love
they
that.
got kids all over the place, instructors all over the place. It's a nice, I'll kind of say Longleaf is a nice step back from Pinehurst. It's a little easier. Okay. It's not as difficult.
I don't think that's a knock on. Like, I don't know it, but it can't possibly be a knock because
it's fun.
Pinehurst is the most grinding you're going to do. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun. So we had a good time. We played in 2.5 hours, and then we played number 8 that afternoon at 2:00. So that was the first time that when I texted you that we had downtime.
Yeah.
And I'm bored out of my mind. It's like 10 o'clock. Matt and
now hold on. Can I give my side of this here? I have been avoiding contact with you other than following along on Instagram because I want to get all of your scores. Like, I'm playing the over-under game with myself, and I think I was 4 for 5. I think I got one of them wrong. I think I got the one. I got your. I think I only got one of them wrong. But anyway, like, I also want you to have some family time. I want you to enjoy the trip. I don't want to interrupt you while you're playing. Like, I don't want to hear about it. I want to hear like I am right now with the audience, right? So then when I get a text from you and you send me the video of you just like hanging out, talking to people on the 6th hole, like this is what a golf trip is supposed to be. You're supposed to enjoy some downtime. Just a little bit.
So our house, we were staying on Pinehurst number 6 on the 9th hole. So it's like 10 o'clock and Matt and my dad are eating Cracker Barrel pancakes. They're like, "Do you want anything to eat?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm not. I'm not here to eat. I'm not here to drink. I'm playing golf." So I literally take my Yeti. I walk out to the.
You're such a crazy person.
I walk out to the 9th hole, and it's a dogleg left par 4. And I'm sitting there talking to everybody. I'm leaning against a tree. "How you playing?" "Ah, great shot. Good shot." One ball hit the tree, came back in. The guy says, "Did you throw that over?" "No, sir, did not. Just popped out of the tree." "Hope you're playing well." I'm having a full-on conversation with these people as if like I'm like, just like that random guy. I'm leaning against a tree. He's like, "Did you see my ball?" I said, "Yeah, it hit hard. It went out of bounds. You're going to have to go back and re-tee, drop it in the fairway, hit 4. Like, it was a full-on like comedy skit of me being out there trying to kill time while Matt and my dad are eating pancakes, playing cards. I'm outside just getting my fix on. It was crazy. That was legitimately the only downtime.
And you still spent it on a golf course.
On a golf course, right?
I do love that though, because I would like whenever you play somewhere, like I do envision retiring somewhere and being on there and just like having an Adirondack chair out near the end of my property while people are going and just have my morning coffee while those first golfers are going through. Yeah. I totally envision that. And then, an evening cocktail while the ones are finishing up.
Yeah. And then listen, the last 2 rounds we played were 8 and number 6. I will say this, and I know you're probably going to ask me to rank these spots. I will say 8 was unbelievable. And Saturday afternoon, like that place is stupid nice. It's unreal. Love the logo. And I'll say this about number 6 on Sunday morning. That is underrated. That place is so damn good that does not get enough credit or talked about, comparatively speaking, to the others. So 8 and 6 are unreal. I know 8 gets a lot of pub, and I know a lot of people talk about 8. It's like really good, and I got to see firsthand why.
But isn't that the one? 8's the one they say is like the better of the two. Like Pinehurst 2 hosts the champion. Oh, 4.
Right. So 4 they say. So 8 to me. Listen, if you're going down to Pinehurst, I could easily give you my top golf courses down there. Really depending on what you're doing. But I do want to say a couple things. I know I have to kind of rant a little bit here further. And I don't know how many people have kind of tuned me out at this point, but I will say this, like,
you got one listener right now, and it's
yeah,
me.
I got, first off, Doug Rebels of Leverett, like, they are a sock company. Okay. Like, premium sock. And one of the things that I get a lot of are blisters. I am always blistering up. I had Band-Aids on my toes. He probably sent me about 6 to 8 pairs of socks. He's like, do me a favor, wear these while they're down there. Let me know what you think. Bro, I know we don't do like free ads and things like that, but I am telling you right now, if you want the best socks in the game, you need to go check these out. They are, I don't know how to describe them, but premium golf socks, like top of the line, like this is so damn good. Listen, Doug did an unreal job. He got them to me Tuesday before I left, literally came to my house, dropped the box off.
Wow.
And put them on my front porch when I wasn't home.
Obviously, dude, comfortable, soft and comfortable.
Dude,
are they
everything
and durable?
Bro, I'm telling you, I won't wear another sock. And I say this because you know me.
Doug, like, I'm a size 13. Just letting you know.
One size fits all, which is the best part about it.
Perfect.
When I say these things are unreal, I don't know. I'm going to tell you, Doug, you killed it. Leveret. You got to go check them out. I'm telling you, they are so damn good that, like, I'm now working behind the scenes with Doug to get them to advertise, to be included in this podcast, because once you put these on, bro, I don't know how else to describe it. So I said to him, I need to put this out there. We don't typically do free ads, but I got to put this out there. So I want to say that to him. Number one, thank you to him.
I'm for supporting stuff that you and I wear. And
listen, I'll say this, you know me, know me. If I like something, I have zero problems saying how I like it. If I don't, I can play the political game and walk around it. But if I don't like something, you probably just don't hear me talk about it, because I'm not in the business of bad mouthing anybody. So I'm not. But I also will say this. I know that I live on my phone and I'm always on it and I'm checking things. And, you know, I think what I was able to do on this trip was unreal. And I know, like, you didn't bother me a lot on this trip and didn't text me, but, like, I did have one person, and I'm not in the business of naming names or saying who they are or what they did, but one person was constantly texting me saying, like, how's it going? Asking me for videos, asking me for pictures, basically wanting a live play-by-play update. And I can't tell you how much someone like me truly enjoyed that. I'm on my phone as it is 24/7, whether I'm hitting a shot or not. I'm taking my picture out, a phone out, take a picture, a video. This one person legitimately was texting me the entire time. And for someone as crazy as I am, it was so refreshing to see and to hear someone else nerd out the way I was, because being able to kind of not only just like live in the moment and share that time with my dad and my brother, but then to also have someone like on the side be like, yo, so how you doing? Like, what's going on? Like, did you make that putt? Did you make, how'd the front nine go? And like kind of getting that like outside motivation that like, it's okay not to be who you are and be nerdy and be all in on the golf thing and not get that negative vibe of like, so I'm not naming names. I'm not saying who it is, who it was, but they know who they are. And I know that I said, I'm going to mention this because of how much it meant to me, that made me feel okay to do what I was doing. And I do hope that we find a date and a time to go play with this person, because I think you would see the genuine and fun person that this person is if we can get to their golf course. So I do want to throw that out there as like this little like thank you, more or less. And they kind of know who they are.
Okay.
But as a wrap up to the trip, listen, I told my dad this morning, I told my dad on the drive home, if you want, I can book the next one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did give you guys this year to go as the 3 Puorro men, and I look forward to being a honorary Puorro man next year at the next one.
I can't lie. Your name came up in conversation a lot. a lot, you know, because listen, my brother likes you. He likes you. I said, well, you're not around him as much as I am. That opinion may change. I said, but you kind of think about a trip like that, right? It's hard. And I don't mean this in a mean way. It's hard to let outside people come in because we are unique. My dad is tough. Okay. Him and I have a lot of similarities. It is go, go, go. It is like we're on a schedule. Don't mess with the schedule. Whereas my brother is more on the opposite side. He is calm. He's cool. He's relaxed. He don't give a fuck about anything. Like whatever, you know, we're having the two of them together with me. I kind of feel like at times I'm in the middle. Like I can go crazy like my dad. But then Matt brings me back to calming things down and to enjoy the moment, because him and I would have a lot of laughs about, Dad says we're leaving at 6:15 and now it's 6 o'clock and he's yelling, get in the car, we're leaving. We're like, you said 6:15. I got to put all my Band-Aids on. Like it is one of those things that the minute you let outside people come in, whether it's someone like you or even my brother-in-law come in and play, it changes things because we are loud. We are aggressive. We bust balls more than we get under everybody's skin. It's a different dynamic. And I think when people see it, they're like, man, you guys are just mean to each other. And it's not that at all, because we then go to dinner that night and we are laughing as if we're drunk and there's something wrong with us. Meanwhile, no one had a drink the whole day. So it's one of those things that like, it's a unique thing. It's a fun thing, but I can't lie. Your name did come up in conversation as if we ever needed one. You know, I said, I know someone who would come.
In a hot second, I'm dropping everything. Yeah, like I said it, I posted about it on even on my own personal. I really, I do mean it. It was a really heartfelt, like my heart was filled for you guys going on that trip. It really was a super special thing to see and witness from behind the scenes here. Again, the work you put in to get the photographer. I know you organized the whole, got the tee times and all that. So like to see the work, but then also to just thinking about you and your dad walking down the fairway on number 2, like I can see the visual almost, I could see it in like a silhouette and just, I could just envision it. And it's just, it makes me really happy. So I can only imagine how you, your brother, your dad felt. Again, I think about like your mom as well. She's got to be full-hearted in this too. I'm really, really happy for you because, like I said, trip of a lifetime, and I'm really, you guys are blessed, really are. That was a great trip.
Yeah. So I apologize for a longer episode. I apologize for a long rant, but that thing was so heavy that I had to bring up everything that like made the trip special. And I kind of keep going through my mind right now to make sure I didn't forget anybody who really made it even better. And I think I nailed it in terms of kind of describing things. And I'll leave you with this, and then I can put a bow on this because I know it's been a rant. If you want me to rank these golf courses, because I know that's something you would ask me ahead of time, like what do you think of 6 or what do you think of 8? Like rank them. I'll say this: the hardest golf course to play is number 2. Okay, so if you're not going to go in the mindset of like if you break 90, you're an average golfer. Like number 2 is hard. It's mentally challenging. It's a grind. It's not easy. The best golf courses to play are number 4 and number 8, far and away the best 2. The optics, the visuals. It's not super hard, but it's also very, very enjoyable. Like number 4 and number 8 are in that like next tier. And then I'll say this: the Cradle, number 6, number 7. They are right there. And throw in number 9 while you're at it. Like those 4 is like the next tier. Like you're not going to be disappointed there. You're not. And I'll say this about like 1, 3, and 5. 1 and 3 are shorter courses. They're shorter. Like
those are the ones
like,
I've played. I've played 1, 3, and 5.
Right. So
I
1
mean,
and 3 are
now, not 20 years ago, but more than 15 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So like 1 and 3 are shorter. And then 5 is just one we haven't got to that I'd like to play. But if you're going down there, dude, no matter what you're going to do, you're going to have a blast. People are so nice. It's like a golfer's paradise for anybody that loves golf. If you're a junkie, dude, I'm telling you, you can hang out there from like 6:30 to 8:30 and just be like me. I'm walking around there. I'm handing out stickers of the Drop Podcast as if I'm a somebody. I got the bag out there asking people like, "Oh, what do you do?" Like, bro, it was like you're like a fucking celebrity, even though I'm just an average person playing average golf, just hitting this little white ball around and just having fun. So if you're going on golf trips, I don't think I need to say it, but I highly recommend going down to Pinehurst.
Yeah. Again, Matt, glad you enjoyed. Glad you kind of keep Mike in check a little bit. Mr. Puorro, glad you got to experience. Thanks for letting Mike, organize this. I know he enjoys stuff like that. Anything else, Mike?
No, that's it. I apologize for this being quite a long episode on a Tuesday when normally they're 45 minutes, but
I
had a lot to say.
No, you did. We knew it was going to be a long one today because I wanted to hear all of it. And again, I hope you don't take offense for me leaving you alone while you're on the trip. I legitimately, I wanted to hear it firsthand like this. I really didn't want to know things before. And then in the same way, I know that time was special, so I didn't want to be interrupting you too much. So,
as I tell you, there's no such thing as interrupting me. If I don't respond, that's how you know I'm busy. If you text me and I'm available, you're going to get a text back instantly.
Maybe one of these days I'll finally, truly realize that. But all right, guys, that's going to be it for us here. Again, sorry it went a little long today, but Mike's trip was a once in a lifetime trip and really a special one. We didn't want to take any time away from it or rush anything. I'll say it as well for you, Mike. Thank you to everyone that made his trip special, because you guys making his trip special was special to me as well. So I do appreciate all the help that you guys gave, and that's awesome. All right, wrapping it up here. Make sure you stay tuned Thursday. We got Ryan Hager on. We're going to preview the NJSGA Open at Plainfield. Ryan's the director of instruction there, so we're going to have him on and talk about the course, talk about the field, talk about all things New Jersey Open and Plainfield Country Club. Till then, cheers.